By the way, one other topic I had on that before we move on, I don't want to make it a massive saga. I just want a quick clarification on this one, because I think this was really shocking to me. Like, listen, I've known most of the stories in your career and what's going on and who's saying what and stuff. But the one that blew my mind, because obviously I don't care about fighting games, so I wasn't super hooked in on that. I only basically saw it through, the stuff you tweeted and the videos you did. The one that actually shocked me to my core was when I found out that some of the people who were literally your desk analysts were engaged in, like, encouraging that behaviour.
Yeah.
Like real esports figures in those games.
Ultra David was the guy where I realised that, like, it's absolutely pointless to even, engage with these people in good faith. He was a guy who obviously is well liked by the community, loves fighting games. There's no doubt in his, commitment. And because I was the host, one of my duties was basically I got to assemble the crew. I had veto if anybody wasn't going to cut it, or we didn't think it was going to vibe. I think people saw I did a good enough job in the past, like recommendations and getting people on and fighting for certain people to be on a broadcast. My entire reputation was on the line when I brought Mo in, for example, to replace you while we were waiting on your visa. He'd never done a broadcast before, let alone American television. And he was a guy who had all these skeletons in his closet, and I just said, listen, I know Mo. He will be entertaining. Trust me. And of course, he was brilliant. They wanted to keep him on, and then he fucked that up with that whole CSGO Diamonds fiasco. So anyway, I had a lot of good faith built up, and so they came to me and said, "Listen, Ultra David, they went through his tweets and saw that he'd had some tweets at me and insulted me and stuff." And I said, "Listen, he's a good guy. He's liked by the community. I got no beef with it at all." And so we were doing rehearsals, and he made a joke at my expense on the rehearsal, and everyone was like laughing and stuff, And he came up to me after we'd done the bit, and he said, "Is that all right?" And I went, "Yeah, fuck yeah, it's brilliant. We want banter, mate. So leave that in when we do the real show. So, keep a mental note of that. That's gold. People will be expecting a bit of friction, a bit of banter. So let's definitely go with that." And then when he said it on the show, and it was live. Loads of the gremlins from the FGC who were going, "Oh, I can't believe Ultra David just burnt Richard Lewis," and he completely played up that he'd done it like apropos,
right.
Caught me off guard, it wasn't rehearsed, and I knew right then he was a fucking fake.
Because online he was always fronting as if, like, and I even tell him this shit when I'm at, he was doing that sort of vibe.
Meanwhile, we were having dinner and hanging out, almost every night that he was there.
Hell.
And he'd be going, "I just don't get why people don't get you. If you could just tone down your Twitter, I'm sure more and more people would like you." And then as soon as the broadcast was over, he went and told everyone I was a cunt. And then on top of that was like, when people tweet at me, "Richard Lewis is a fascist arsehole who must be stopped," and I would like retweet it, he would go, "I don't know why Richard's like this. He's dogpiling you. It's so bad." Like, yeah, I'm the bad guy in that, am I? So, yeah, at that point, and the other thing that really hurt was basically when people that I thought were my mates, and, I got all those guys like Christmas presents, used to take them out for dinner when we were in Atlanta and stuff, genuinely happy to see them. Those guys basically didn't want to come and meet me during one FGC event where, again, I was told literally I couldn't attend this event in Atlanta because it was outside of E-League and therefore security couldn't be there. And people had said, "If you go, we're going to fuck you up." So I said, right, I won't go. I'll follow the advice of the security people. And we'll just meet for dinner. And the guys that I'd literally vouched for turned around and said, "Yeah, we can't really do it, mate. If anyone sees us, it's too hot." Couldn't even have dinner with these people. So I was like, all right, fine. It is what it is. So I mean, that sucks, but I'm a big boy. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, not gonna cry too much about it. As I said, all the real stressful factors was the stuff that sort of false presentation of who I am generated, because obviously as well it was a very charged atmosphere politically coming after the Trump election, and so anybody that was kind of put on that side of the yard was considered dangerous, radical, Nazi, and it would just be the same thing over and over and over again, just the regurgitation of these things happened, but they've been dealt with. The Loader incident, Yeah, 6 months at Breitbart. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, now what? And so every time it would get brought up, and it was just ridiculous. I mean, I had a chronic stomach ulcer at the time. I mean, people can probably see, I was a lot fatter. I'm still out of shape now. America hit me like a fucking ton of bricks, mate. But I puffed up really badly and got very doughy. And that was a combination I was on medication for a chronic stomach ulcer because of the stress. And plus the boozing I was doing, which was exacerbating the ulcer. And then to try and soak up the acid when the medication weren't working, I was like comfort eating. So I was a fucking physical wreck as well as a mental one. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking die if I keep living like this. I'm just gonna do a Gandolfini. I'm just gonna keel over one day while some cunt's threatening me in public, And that's why I had to leave. And as I said earlier, these people find it essential to frame it that we were fired because then it validates what they say. Ely couldn't believe it. They had the contract, they slipped it across the table with a pen and started talking to me about something else. They were utterly convinced I was going to resign and couldn't believe it when I said, I can't do this. I'm sorry, guys. They tried to convince me to stay. It was another 2-year extension. Put it this way. If in any way I'd been fired, don't you think for like liability issues, legal issues, they would have put that out as a statement saying we are terminating Richard Lewis's contract. Not to mention, you get a positive PR hit from all the morons cheering up.
They even do it with some of the big name commentators in sports. I notice. Yeah, you just say it. You just say we're not bringing this guy back.
Contract. Yeah, exactly. But no, they didn't do that. They really wanted me to stay. And everybody I worked with there liked me. Like, I was really disappointed, but I went in and told everybody, like, I got to bounce. Like, I can't keep doing this to myself. I've got things that I need to think about, and yeah, I've got to go do something else, unfortunately. And